My name is Stewart Dando. That is key individual for Austin Morris & Associates Africa. And then for the international business, AMAI, I'm the Chief Investment Officer. I joined the business in July, roughly 5 years ago. So yeah. We devised our own range of model portfolios in partnership with Morningstar, the Citrine range, a white labeled range. We wanted to compete in the local space. It's quite a saturated space. We wanted to bring something a little bit newer, a little bit fresh, and that's what we did. So we partnered, like I said, with Morningstar. Those portfolios have been running for a number of years now and have performed extraordinarily well, both in absolute terms and relative to their peers. So I'm particularly proud of that. And the other one would be the attainment of our license in Mauritius. It took a long time to get. We had to jump through a lot of hoops. There was grey listings, there was COVID and all the rest of it. But we have a fully functioning license there. It's what they call an unrestricted investment advisor license. So it is quite powerful both in terms of scope and capability, and we are servicing our clients through that entity with the power of that license behind us. So highlights, many of them, but to focus in on two, the local range of Citrine portfolios and our license in Mauritius. We are determined, we are results driven, very, very important that we achieve the results we want to achieve, both in production, but also the results for our end clients. That's extraordinarily important. And that drives a certain type of behavior in the consultants we employ at Austin Morris locally and Austin Morris sort of globally. It's that level of determination, results driven, always keeping the client in focus. That's sort of how we operate. What we try and do is we try and build as much support behind our IFAs as possible. That includes things like compliance, making sure their compliance in the background runs completely seamlessly. It also makes sure their administration is taken care of. It also, and something we've put a lot of time and resources into quite recently, is research and analytics. So dealing with people like Fund Analytics, Morningstar, those types of partners, what that does is it creates this massive amount of support for that IFA. So when that IFA is sitting in front of a client, they have the support of this massive team behind them, whether it's administration, compliance, research, reporting, whatever it might be. So whenever an IFA is doing business or chatting to a client, they have a whole team in their pocket when they do that. And that is what we pride. The IFA is a tough business. They're at the forefront, they're in the coalface, they're in the trenches, going out there, seeing new clients, trying to bring in fresh assets, and that's a very difficult job to do. So it's our responsibility as the financial services provider to give them as much support as possible and make that job as easy for them as we possibly can. Drive, determination, and results focused. It's that simple. Like I said, it's a tough job being an independent financial advisor. It is tough out there, especially during these current economic times. And we've seen a couple of black swan events that we only ever see once every 8 to 10 years. We've seen a couple of them in the space of 3.5 years. So yeah, drive, determination, and results focused. It's that simple. And if you have those attributes, they tend to manifest in other ways, like focusing on industry knowledge, focusing on client communication, and so on and so forth. But the core attributes would be those. Something about me that people might be interested to know is probably something a lot of people already know. That is that I'm a bit of a logophile. I enjoy having what I'd like to think is a fairly large vocabulary, and the reason for that is quite specific. It is to be able to be precise in your speech, whether in the written word or a one-on-one conversation or a one-to-many conversation or one-to-many. It's important to be deliberate, specific, and precise. And what I found in my career is the broader your vocabulary is, the more able you are to do that, because you can find the right word in the right moment to succinctly describe exactly what you are describing. And it also gives you a broad range. Sometimes if I'm having to elaborate on a particular concept, it's not necessarily knowing big words, it's knowing appropriate words. And I get that sometimes. I get accused of that sometimes, but that's a story for another day. So yeah, if I had to say that, I do enjoy the English language and being, like I said, a logophile and enjoying a fairly, I would say, a fairly broad vocabulary. But yeah, in an effort to be able to express myself properly.